This week we are celebrating a special holiday, Easter. This is a time when we remember Jesus' last week here on earth. Our celebration began last Sunday when we remembered Palm Sunday. We remembered Jesus riding into town on a donkey, and the people in town waved their palm branches in excitement. Tomorrow we will remember Maundy Thursday. This is when Jesus and his disciples shared their last meal together. Jesus gave them bread to eat, which represented his body, and wine, which represented his blood. After they shared that meal together, Jesus went out to pray. He was very sad because he knew that some bad things were going to happen to him. But he also knew that God was in control and he could trust him. When he had finished praying, Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, came with a crowd of men armed with swords and clubs, and they arrested Jesus. They took Jesus to a man named Caiaphas, who was the high priest, and the other leaders of the law were there. Caiaphas asked Jesus many questions, but Jesus didn't say much. This made the leaders very angry, and they wanted to find a reason to kill him. They then took Jesus to the governor, a man named Pilate, and a huge crowd began to gather. Pilate could find no reason to have Jesus sentenced to death, so he said to the crowd, "What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Christ?" And the crowd answered,
"Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!"
"Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But the crowd shouted louder,
"Crucify! Crucify him!"
Pilate then took water and washed his hands. He said, "I am innocent of this man's blood. He is your responsibility." Jesus was then taken by the soldiers. He was beaten and whipped many times. They placed a scarlet robe on him and twisted a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They made fun of him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." They had Jesus help carry his own cross through the town, while people spit on him and yelled mean things to him. Once they got to a place called Golgotha, they nailed Jesus to the cross, one nail in each hand, and one nail through his feet. They placed a sign above his head to make fun of him, which read, "Jesus, this is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Because at that moment, he didn't look like a king. Because what powerful king would be put on a cross? They didn't understand that Jesus was the King of Kings. He was a different kind of king. In the crowd that was watching him on the cross, some were sad and crying, while others were telling him to save himself if he really is the Son of God. Some time went by. Jesus gave out a loud cry and breathed his last. But is that the end of the story? No. Jesus' body was placed in a tomb, kind of like a cave, and a huge rock was rolled over the tomb to close at the opening. 3 days later, some women came to visit Jesus' tomb, and saw that the huge rock had been rolled away, and Jesus' body wasn't there. But an angel was there, and the angel said to the women, "Do not be alarmed. Are you looking for Jesus the Nazarene, who was crucified? He has risen. He is not here." The women went and told Jesus' disciples that he was alive. Jesus actually appeared to many people before he went up to heaven to be with his Father. The end. I made a couple mistakes. Do we care?
No.
Okay.
It's better than people walking